Concerns that new police plans to keep track of people taking part in demonstrations and marches could interfere with the democratic right to protest. An investigation by the Guardian newspaper claims that a new unit's been set up to deal with what police are calling domestic extremists. Earlier I spoke to Robin Simcox from the Centre for Social Cohesion. I asked him whether he thought the plans could deter people from exercising their right to protest.
Well, I don't think it's likely to put them off their right to protest. I mean, the subjects which the police are focusing on, the domestic extremism, are things like far-right activism, far-left activism, climate change protests, animal rights protests. I think these are subjects which are continuing to get people passionate enough that they will continue to protest. What I do think it shows is that the police are dipping into an area which they shouldn't really, which is intelligence gathering, which is usually the remit of the security service. I don't believe these are crimes, or that they're not crimes. These are not national security threats. These are public order threats, if anything. And I don't think it's a great step that the police are looking to monitor these people who have not been convicted of any crime.
Demonstrators have accused the police of going over the top in the number of photographs they take at demonstrations. For example, at animal rights demonstrations in Oxford. It can sound a little bit Big Brother, can't it, with photographs and car number plates being kept on databases. It may feel like people are being monitored.
It certainly could. And I understand why people feel that way. I think we should be slightly wary of it. I don't believe that this is a Big Brother state or a police state. It's an easy trap to fall into. But I think one of the great things about Britain is that when we see these kind of stories today, the people generally get outraged at it. They don't want to live in a police state, and every time that they feel as if their rights are being infringed upon, the public backlash is normally very strong, and I think that's a healthy sign.
The Guardian quotes one example of a man who claims his car was tracked by the automatic number plate recognition system and stopped 25 times in 3 years after he took part in a demonstration about duck and pheasant shooting. If that's true, that's terrifying, isn't it?
It really is, and it's the kind of thing, I mean, the best use of police time, I would submit, isn't tracking people who've gone to a pheasant protest. There are very real issues, and the animal rights activism is one especially pertinent to Oxford because they had tremendous problems when the laboratory was being opened up with intimidation. There were convictions for people who'd intimidated people at the lab. So really the police are fudging this issue. When you begin to track people who've been to minor protests like this, it really detracts away from the attention of some of the people that are involved with these groups. But we have laws in place to monitor them. People can be convicted for threatening or intimidating people for going to work. They have been in the past. And a national database of people who have been convicted of no crime isn't the way forward for the country.
Robin Simcox, thank you.